Hi guys, welcome to Runescape Community's second podcast. Today's subject is the behind the scenes video. We will also put the link for the video in the description below. So today we have with us Ajita.
Hello.
Plum.
Hi.
Rogue.
Hi.
Reese.
Hi.
And Lauren.
Hi.
And I'm Emily. The topics covered were deep sea fishing, cave horrors, spring fair, and a new quest. So my first question to the guys, has anybody seen the video? Has everybody watched it?
Yep, I've watched it.
Yes. Yeah, I've watched it.
Yep, I've watched it.
So Plum, how did you find it interesting, or are you looking forward to certain things coming out?
The actual video itself was a bit cringy.
Yes.
Lots of lots of
pirate
puns. Yeah, and it was a wee bit cringy, but it was nice to see some decent updates this month, definitely.
Good old Mod Osborne.
I know.
I feel a bit controversial because I think they've definitely put all their eggs in one basket, or two, maybe.
I think you can tell what's the biggest update for the month because they speak about it a lot at the beginning. But no, I still think this quest and things is got the makings of being good, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what they've definitely wanted to focus on this month. Because as you see, basically they've released deep sea fishing, realised there's a load of problems, then had to go back in and patch it again, and then come back over it, waiting for players to find bits and bobs.
Yeah, so obviously we've already covered deep sea fishing in our previous video. Has anybody, now that the week's passed and things have been patched over and edited, has anybody got anything to add?
I decided to try Fishing Frenzy because I hadn't tried it on the last podcast and just kind of, seeing what my highest streak could be. And to be completely honest with you, I think they've definitely patched that because I got to 1,101 before I just gave up. I was doing it for about 2 hours and I was like, do you know what? I can't be bothered anymore with this. So it's a lot easier by what you were describing from last.
Yeah, because I think I did about 20 minutes, only got to 200, and was stressed the entire time.
What kind of XP rates were you getting with that?
It was pretty good. It was probably about 100k an hour at least because I had over a mil, and then I looked at it and I had almost just into the 700ks. So it was a good 100k an hour. So it was some decent XP rates. I don't know if this was a thing for you guys, but I noticed that you can also get a camfish spot, which
I've not heard of that.
you just sit at it, and it's like rather than one kind of tick and then pull away, you can sit at a full fishing spot for a while, almost like a break for you.
All right.
I know that they spawned around the Sailfish area, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So was that the only patch then?
I think so. I think they made a few other changes, but it was mainly to do with the jellyfish and things like that. So.
Well,
Yeah,
they also
they
made
brought-
it impossible to put cannons and ring of trees and things
Yeah,
like that
just
down.
anti-griefing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that they brought down the level that bluefish heal.
Yeah, the blue jellyfish, that's
Yeah.
been quite a controversial decision, that.
Yes, I was watching the Fungineering live stream, and there was a lot of people spamming in the chat about how terrible it was that they'd reduced the amount that it healed and made it dead content. I'm like, ugh, just more
Yeah, they
people
pretty
shouting.
much killed blue jellyfish
Yeah,
So
in
what does it heal now?
that one nerf.
750.
750.
Ugh.
But it's not really worth taking them anymore, I don't think.
It's still worth it because the alternative is your Saradomin brew, and if you don't have an overload, I suppose it's something that's still going to be viable for people to do low-level boss and PVM with.
The only issue I see with it is that they really should have made it 750 over 4. What they've done is they've just kept it 750 over 3. So they really have,
Ridiculous, yeah.
yeah, they've quite reduced it.
Because it was a 3,000 in one spot healing food, and that's pretty much the only bonus that it had to lower level players.
Yeah.
The nerf has completely killed it for lower level players, I think. Because if you're going to go for a Sarah Brew and an Overload, or a Store Pot, to conserve healing in one spot, the Sarah Brew 3 is still more heal per spot than Jellies now. The one advantage for lower level players
Yeah, I agree.
They're not gonna heal multiple amounts in one tick like the Rocktail Brew Jelly. in one tick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's ridiculous. They bring out new content and then they make it dead content within a week because people moan about how unfair it is, rather than letting players get used to the whole change.
I'm assuming this was a lot of feedback on Reddit then, because that's their kind of main to go place. So a lot of people must have been complaining on Reddit that it was too overpowered.
But if you do something like, if you're doing something like BM and you're tanking a BM, and all of a sudden you get hit by bombs, and that is one situation where the Rocktown Brew Jelly would really mitigate most of the damage. There are situational things that it fixes in the game that you perhaps couldn't avoid in previous.
Feels like it was more geared towards high-level PVMing rather than the average player. But the average player base has said, no, this is overpowered, nerf this. And of course, Jagex have bent over backwards to do it.
Yeah. But it is getting a bit like that, whoever shouts the loudest. But they can't have sat there and thought it through and looked at how the food works.
Like, we know unfortunately it is who shouts the loudest that gets heard the most. Like the wilderness PKers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the wilderness is dead now.
Yeah.
Essentially that.
Well, they all
So
went
Graham-
over to old school, I think.
And they all jumped ship after they gave us a wilderness update to go to old school. Yeah, but whenever they are saying stuff like we're making content for 0.03% of players, that doesn't really sit well with the base majority of us.
So moving back onto topic, Rogue, I'd like to talk about the rod that.
The rod that I'm bitter about not getting.
Yeah.
Hey, you've already got an HSR.
Exactly. I thought, being RN Jesus, I should be able to get this fishing rod.
Yeah, I'd
So
like to cover that.
It's literally revealed yesterday, the podcast, how that you get in the rod. So apparently you get a red Uncharted Isles fishing map, and then you go sail to an island, and then you get given the rod on the island. And not only can you get that from fishing, you can also get that from merchant. So I can see Paul D&D Friends chat filling up very, very quickly tonight. But apparently the guy who got it had the map in his bank for a few days, and Mod Ryan had to coax him into using the map.
Just got
Because
frustrated
he was
and
getting
said to
really
use it.
frustrated that
Yeah.
he wasn't doing it. Yeah, it'd be
Okay.
interesting. I don't know if you could actually use that island as a base. I couldn't see any resources on that
Oh
Uncharted
yeah,
Island.
to almost flag it, that could be interesting.
It was pretty empty, and I'm sure they would have thought of kind of safeguards against that.
Well, no, I guess that you could have one, but I mean, it was like a nicely designed isle. It was quite pretty. There was like a house on the island.
I seem to remember a Reddit post saying if you leave the island, you can't go back. So I imagine because it instantly takes away the red map as soon as you travel there. So I imagine you leave and you don't talk to the guy, you ain't getting that
So-
fishing
lost
rod.
the
Oh
rod, yeah.
god, you would be gutted.
Can you destroy the map? Do you know? Like, could you accidentally do that, or maybe think it's nothing of importance?
Probably.
There should be like a
Surprised me.
really sarky message going, are you really sure you want to do this? Maybe follow it.
And that's just kind of what it is. I mean, it has to retain its rareness, retain the price, I guess. But you have to kind of put your faith in people that they're not going to be stupid. They're going to actually investigate the content that they get given.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, though, it's really pretty. I really like the way it looks. I don't think I keep it, but it's nicely designed content.
And
There's like bits of
augmentable.
bamboo. Yeah.
Waiting for the day that somebody augments it and then disassembles it on
Yes.
accident, and they lose their 500 mil fishing rod or however much it's going to cost whenever the price is stable.
Stable, yeah.
About.
But I think it's got so the fin on the back of the rod is a sailfish fin. So that's bringing in the new content. They've got some hooks on the side of the rod. And it's sort of made out of bamboo, which is what you get from the art, but the ordinary bamboo from the art. It's definitely a lot of thought gone into the design of it. So it might be like a thing that's chased for cosmetic value.
Don't know about
Yeah.
that. I think the skilling benefits far outweigh what it actually is used looks like. A lot of people are just going to buy it and not give a rat's ass what it looks like, and just use it because it gives you them passive benefits.
It'd be nice to know if it works outside the deep
Yeah.
sea fishing area. That would be the next thing I would like to know about
So if
it.
it's only inside, I still don't think there's much point.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it has the same kind of benefits as the other hero items anyway. I mean, it's just fishing. Fishing's never going to be one of them high tier money makers. It's never going to be one of them skills that people are going to be doing for thousands and thousands upon hours.
No.
So it
That's why the
feels like
HSR is so rare.
exactly. That's why the HSR double drops. I mean, of course you want that. And the Orlando Smith's hat. Everybody wants that. I mean,
Yes.
you do an elite and you get a hard clue as well. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
just
Jesus
very
Christ.
lackluster in comparison.
So there was a rod found approximately 40 minutes after this one, because someone basically found out.
Nice.
They probably had it in their bank.
Saw the Reddit post and was like, oh, I have one of them!
Yeah.
So moving on to the next subject will be this week's update, which was cave horrors. So obviously they got a makeover, and a couple of new abilities were brought out as well. But I would like to ask, has anybody killed them before the update and after?
Yes, I've killed them before and after the update. They are a lot better looking now. They have quite a nice attack animation, and they definitely look more deadly.
More horrible.
They're certainly more horrible, yeah.
I haven't been there yet, but I've seen lots of pictures of it. I've checked the wiki, I've seen what they look like now, I've read the new lore on the wiki. All seems like a nice update all in all.
I understand why they couldn't, but it would have been nice if they'd updated the cave as well, because they look very out of place within that cave.
Yeah.
With how nice they now look compared to their surroundings, but I understand it's a time issue and development costs, but it's just a shame that if they graphically update one thing, they just don't spend extra time and resources and just do all of it.
I mean, they probably will, but it's probably too much at the moment, because obviously their main resources is mobile.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the new lore that they've added onto this is leading towards something.
I'm not sure if the new lore is going to be directly involved with the new quest coming out, but the lore is certainly talking about Zautak, one of the gods that we've been learning about recently, but not a very nice god as well. There's 5 horror journals that you can get for an achievement called Lovingly Crafted, and unfortunately you do need this if you want to keep your master quest cape, so you do need to get all 5 horror journals. You've got the Festering journal, which is an uncommon drop from the new Unspeakable Horrors, relatively quick to get them, probably within 20 minutes to half an hour of killing you could get that drop. There's a Decaying journal, which you can get from the Skeletal Horror, a Pestilent journal, which you can find in a jungle plant on Mosley Harmless. There's a Rotten journal, which you can get by completing the Hooded Pirate's mini quest. He's a new NPC who can be found on the east coast of Mosley Harmless, and it's a very short, interesting little mini quest that you run around with a black coin, opening a chest to find a little bit more lore out. And the last journal is a Blasphemous journal, and you can only find that after you've found the previous other 4 journals. But I don't know if anyone else has read the journals, but they're really quite dark. They're obviously Lovecraftian inspired,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of lore relating back to Zautak, with the mention of like stone-like hands coming out of the water. It's quite interesting, very dark read.
I'd like to talk about the animations that the cave horrors do, especially when they're dying. Like, I've killed a couple, and I've noticed that they kind of fall back on the backsides, I'm going to say, when they're dying. Has anybody else got any other comments?
I love the kicking thing.
Yeah, they definitely look more ape now and attack more like they're apes.
Yeah.
I think their
I do.
graphical and animation work is definitely up to par with how they're perceived, these things, how ferocious they are supposed to be.
they move a bit more like the A routes, I think, which might fit in with the fact that they're otherworldly beings.
Yeah.
I mean, that their attack animation is basically like the mod deck trading sequence reward, where you kick your legs in the air and do the breakdance thing.
Yeah.
That is the attack animation from them, but they do move like A routes, from what I've noticed.
So, moving on again, there's 4 new abilities that have come out as well. Shock, Horror, Demoralize, and Rout. And they're free to play as well, and they're quite low levels.
They're
Nobody
supposed to
found them.
be good with Stomp or something like
Yeah.
that. It's supposed to be like Stomp and stuff for the basic level things.
It's sort of just to fill
Yeah.
out the low level for mage and range.
But it doesn't.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know it's intended to, but it really doesn't. For a start, like the combat triangle, they're basically meant to have their own advantages. Stun DPS combos is what range is better for at higher levels. Mage is more AoE ability, and there are other benefits to mage. And then melee has these things like knockback effects, gaining distance, and things like that. Bleed combos especially is what melee, what comes out from melee. I don't know how we expect people to learn the combat triangle if we're allowing them just to homogenize combat, basically. There's no skill in learning what each style benefits for later in the game to use what style, what boss, or what style for what monster mob. If you homogenize combat, the way to improve combat and fix it is not to homogenize it.
Yeah.
It's all well and good saying these big words, but what do they mean?
Yeah, that's what I was
Make
like.
it so if you homogenize it, you're basically making
Make all the same.
make it all the same. If you make range, if you basically add what's good about range to melee, what's good about melee to range, and the same with mage, etc., you've not really
Like,
got
they
any
should
of
be
the
competing
advantages of any of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think that because they're a rare drop, the pricing of these the books, ability books, is also going to be inaccessible to lower level players.
If it's a like low level update though, will it really have that much of an effect on combat? You know, if this is the sort of things that you're just maybe using to build adrenaline
That's
or
all it is. It's just, is there thresholds or is it all basic?
things.
All basics.
Think-
All basics,
So
yeah.
they all
it
basics?
really is just for adrenaline gain then.
Yeah, or maybe like a slight special move, but nothing that's game breaking. So, you know, is it actually going to have much of an impact on combat?
I think the answer is no. They were heavily bugged on release as well. People were basically reporting that the attack animations were just completely out of whack. You didn't see the next attack animation start, so if it was something like asphyxia or whatever, that'd be really confusing. I can't imagine what would happen if you did one of these moves into an onslaught and you couldn't see that you were in an onslaught. That would be really confusing and just completely weird and broken. So it was rushed out, but it was rushed out to no real demand either. So I don't understand why that mistake was made and why that wasn't really tested and brought out in the testing process and the quality assurance.
Unless these
Jagex doesn't have any QA. The QA is done by us.
Which is odd because when you ask for the content that you actually want, they say we're QAing it, it'll be out soon.
I was just going to say, do you think maybe these new abilities are useful for the boss fight that's going to be in the quest? And that's why they've released them.
Oh, interesting. I would hope not, because
That is an interesting
they are
question, yeah.
going to skyrocket if that's the case. I have spent a good hour and a half to 2 hours down killing them because I thought you got all the journals from them until I kind of found out elsewhere. But I did not get a single drop.
Oh, so it is
So
very
it's
rare
very
then.
rare. I killed a lot.
The drop rate for the Black Mask also stays the same with this update. How do you guys feel about that?
It's fine. I actually, within that 2 hour period, I got 2 Black Mask drops. That's not been changed at all. The price of them will drop a little bit just because everyone will be getting them just now, and
Killing
they'll
more, yeah.
stabilise again. I'm not sure were the Black Masks graphically updated as well.
Yep.
I think they
How
were,
much
yeah.
a black mouse worth?
They were over 1 million a piece, but they're not selling for that.
Okay.
They were like 800k, 700k.
So they spiked and it's taken a long time for them to come back down again.
Yeah, I've actually got them on the Grand Exchange just now for 700k and they're still not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add, it's nice to get more graphical updates, just graphically based updates. Maybe the combat could have done with a bit more tweaking and thought process,
Yeah.
but that we actually get some nice graphical updates that add something to perhaps the.
I do.
I don't know too much about the lore.
I would prefer more graphical updates and like new pieces of content sometimes, because I do think their animations and graphics are improving so much, and it's really nice to see old pieces of content get a new lick of paint.
Lease of life, yeah.
That's it.
Especially because like there's some pieces of content that you just feel have been put on the shelf, and some of the I think that was true about jungle horrors and cave horrors until this point.
The only thing that I'm concerned about is I'm aware they're not going to update Mostly Harmless with the Pieces of Hate quest that's coming out, because again it's resources and time, which is fine, but when will they do that then? This is a perfect opportunity because we're getting the end of the Pirates series, which is based around that island. I couldn't have thought of a better time to graphically update it. So I think it's just a shame that they're not doing that at the same time.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like once you've done the quest, aside from clue scrolls, there's no point of going to that island.
I agree.
That's it. And Trouble Brewing's dead, so you don't even go there for it.
I don't think I've ever actually done Trouble Brewing. So.
I haven't either.
See,
No,
I used to like
wanted
Trouble
try
Brewing
it,
back
but-
in the day, but
What
nobody
is
plays
it?
We have tried it a few times as a clan event, because it's got such high requirements and it's stopped by quest. It can
It's
be
stopped
difficult
by
to
quests.
get
It
people.
does have some skill requirements, but it really requires a lot of cooperation, so it's actually a good clan event to do. The problem is just getting people who have got the requirements to get there. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
quests behind it. Maybe if they do this minigame hub, that might change, but it's dead content. Until
Or it
they
might
do
be one of those
something.
We
games
should
they just
do-
get rid of.
Has anybody got anything else to add about cave horrors?
They stinky.
No?
Okay, so we'll move on to the next part, which will be, would you guys prefer to do the quest first or the spring fair?
Which one comes first?
I
I'd
reckon
want
the quest is
first.
going to be the next update. I think the spring fair is going to be the last thing, because see, when you watch the BTS, he says towards the end of the month for the quest, so maybe they'll go into that as the next topic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I reckon that
I mean,
the quest
what
is
I'm
going to be the
thinking
last
is-
thing of the month. I think we're going to get the spring fair tomorrow, because it
I
says
think
it's lasting
so.
for 3 weeks this time,
4
Well,
weeks.
they want it to cover Easter, don't they?
which is
Yeah.
the beginning of April. Yeah. So I'll be kind of gone halfway through next month.
What they might do is have the quest this week, but also add in like the building thing, and then next
Maybe,
week
and
have
then
the.
next week have it out.
Well, that's if we're going to get like a build-a-thon up to
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Because I'm reading over the BTS, I don't see any mention that we'll be kind of building the Helter Skelter again.
But then
Well,
they
did we
didn't
get
bring
any
out
mention
this
of that
Solite or
last year?
Lunar thing, yeah.
No, they also didn't
Yeah,
say
no.
that's true.
That's true. That was a really unannounced update, the whole cosmetic thing. But that's not going away for 74 hours, which is Monday. And I imagine the Spring Fair might have a treasure hunter element, although because of the amount of moaning that was done because of the
Because of the
rune coin
rune coins.
requirement last year, they took some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that there is some element of treasure hunter alongside the spring fair, maybe, like
might be able to
adding
get
in the
the token.
tokens. Yeah. So this treasure hunter promotion would have to end for another one to start, and that's conveniently is Monday.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
How convenient.
But that is a lot of guesswork.
I mean, with the Spring Fair, I know they have made a point to mention a few times that it's not going to be as heavy rune coins as it was last year, but there's still that awful taste from last year, so personally, I'm not really looking all that forward to it.
Yeah, it was not a good
No.
update last year, I must admit.
I didn't do it last year, and I Doubt I'll do it this year.
Well, I was on their way to 99 Hunter this time last year, and there was a very hunter-based event there, so I did get my
Yeah, there
happy
was
hours in.
it was
What are
the
they?
catching ducks,
Yeah.
which is from the summer one as well.
It's a shame because I know that this is supposed to be, instead of like an Easter quest that we get, the spring fair. But I would much rather an Easter event, an Easter quest or something like that instead of this.
But didn't we get both last year?
Did we? What did we get?
What was the Easter quest last year?
Is it not a Slisky based Easter?
Slisky's
event?
yes, it
Chocolate
was.
Factory was a few years ago.
That was
it?
2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah, I've not done an Easter event in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they do say in the behind the scenes video that they've got new rewards with face paints, fishing bags, and Easter
It was the
pets
Divine
and more.
Eggs thing for 2017 Easter.
Divine eggs?
What?
What was the Divine
And
Eggs?
no
I
one
don't
knows what
remember
that
that.
was.
No, I don't remember that.
Or then probably because no one really engaged with that content, they thought, well, what's the point in doing an
I
Easter
linked it in
event?
Discord.
They might as well take it out and just stick it in one huge lump.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, just reading the wiki, it was a quest, a mini quest.
But it was done in like 20 minutes and the rewards were so bad that everyone was just like, oh.
I genuinely do
Why
not
did I
remember
waste
it.
my time?
Yeah.
Oh, I can remember it, kind of. Because I've still got the bunny head in my bank.
Enlighten us all.
Oh well, we
None of
might
us
get
remember.
a Easter event this year as well as a spring fair then.
Yeah, but would you rather them half-ass it, is the question.
No, I would rather not have spring fair if I would get a decent Easter update. But I
Yeah.
also know that the spring fair is rehashed content.
Yeah, because they've got like the Spring Fair event, Novemberfest, and the beach. So it's kind of like they're using the same thing. When they can't think of anything, they're using the same thing. Just
Lumbridge Crater.
yeah,
The beach
I mean, I was
just
never-
works though. The beach is a great update. I love the beach every
Yeah.
year it comes out.
Yeah.
Bring back world events.
Certainly.
definitely. But I feel like they're kind
Well, yeah,
of
'cause-
compensating by making a copy of the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind
They've
of.
found that the beach works, and then they've tried to make the beach every...
Well, we've also got Novemberfest as well, which is very similar. So yeah,
But I
Yeah.
just never did November 1st.
I didn't do it either. I didn't. There was just something about it that didn't like attract me to it.
last year it was basically just dancing on tables until you got tokens.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
fun.
There was a very heavy element of like randomness to how you got tokens. There wasn't a sort of exchange system. You just sort of did.
I reckon that's what the spring fair will be this time around as well. I know we won't have the daily tokens and we can just skill as we like, but I'm sure it's going to be the same type of randomness that yes, we will get the chance of getting a token, but without really spending rune coins, you're probably not going to get tokens.
Yeah.
And I think that's
then the
what just
prices
makes
will
people
never
go,
be the
"There's
same."
No point.
Prices of the tokens will completely fluctuate. It won't be worth trying to collect like a set.
No.
That's what is it about the beach then that makes it better content than these other things? What thought goes into it that makes it different?
I would say it's largely because of because of the construction. Like, it's free construction XP.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
obviously construction's so damn expensive.
I think it's Claudia and all that. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
just
gonna
like
fund it, yeah.
it's
Well,
not
and
just
I
like
Guess with their
chance.
costumes.
You know, there's a lot more to do and a lot more kind of structure about it
There's a
all.
lot more rewards apart from last year. Rewards were lacking a bit last year, but there's always nice hidden stuff like titles and cosmetics that you can get, and just an overall feeling of they really like that piece of update, so they've put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for it every year. I think there's an element of community to it. Like when Claudia comes out, we
Yeah,
call out on the
yeah.
CC like crazy to get people there. There's quite a bit of cooperation. You can plant down a Vex, have an avatar out.
Oh, the Wolfies absolutely love the beach. There's so many events that we do down there.
Yeah.
It's very clan friendly,
Yeah.
which is probably why we like it so much. But it is a very clan friendly piece of content.
I wonder if it's because there's only so many things to do there, but the place looks quite big compared to whenever you've got like the spring fair where everything seems a
Very
little bit more
enclosed.
enclosed. Yeah, I wonder if it's just like a matter of space as well.
It's a combination of content and design that
Yeah.
kind of makes it not stand up as much. Because let's face it, if we tried to do over the next couple of weeks, an admin came out and said, I wanted to do a spring fair event. I don't know if that would get the same amount of reception as a let's do a beach event.
Yeah,
There's only one way to find out.
by all means, we'll
Wait for it to-
try it out, but yeah, it's just I suppose it depends on just how much like last year it was, because if it's even a fraction of what it was like last year, it'll be dead upon release.
Pay to win is dead.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
I mean,
not
I
fun.
suppose like the beach also had a kind of AFK element about it as well, with the weightlifting for strength training.
Yes, does the spring fair have a kind of AFK method?
Not
No.
that I remember.
Novemberfest was definitely click intensive.
You could dance on the tables though.
Yeah, but you only got XP if you did the right one, whereas with the weight training.
The spring fair's got the dancing as well, that you can kind of sit
Yeah.
at.
Dancing.
Yeah, it has dancing as well.
Yeah.
Is that AFKable or is it a click intensive kind of thing?
No, you just sit on it until, I think it kicks you off after like 5-10 minutes or something, but you can change what type of dance you do, and that gets you more XP if you're copying them, but otherwise you just sit and get like a base 12 XP or something, you
I
know.
would say the best thing about it being AFK there isn't for the XP, because like you said, if you click to the right emote then you get more XP, but it's because the more you're dancing there, the longer you're spending doing something, the more tokens you might possibly get. Personally, that's why I love doing like the strength at the beach, because I can just kind of AFK and chill and still get quite a lot of tokens over the hour.
Yeah.
AFK and chill.
There's sort of an expectation about the beach. How you're going to earn those tokens, how they're going to get there. There's a combination of earning them through random play, but also being able to buy them. The cosmetics are nice. People really want to have the beach cosmetics. People still go around with them.
Yeah,
Parasols
still
and
people-
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. They started a weird trend for parasols, and then all the other events became parasols, and then that flopped
I'm
as
trying
well.
to think back to, they did a live stream about the spring fair and some of the items that you can get. I know there's like a pet like that. Is it Zoltan? The fortune teller? You can get him
Yeah.
as a pet. And I'm sure there's something to do with like little chicks, which look pretty cute actually.
It's like eggs or something,
yeah, that
or
follow
like
you.
something, yeah.
Bunch of eggs that follow you. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, they did
That's what I
something.
wanted.
They did something on the beach about a rubber duck version of Mega Ducklings, and it was related to Mega Ducks, so maybe this
Yeah.
also will be. Possibly.
Well, I get the feeling they're going for more Easter rewards this time with it, so it's like a lot more like Easter related, because they did say that we weren't getting an Easter event. This is it. They said that in the live stream, so
Oh,
yeah.
That's a bit disappointing, because the events for like Easter, Halloween, and Christmas have kind of always been what I look forward to throughout the year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know, it would have been years and years ago, where they had, you'd do a mini quest and you could always use that area after. Well, that's still up to now as well, but I mean, I joined just after the ring came out that turned you into an egg.
I love that one. It's my first favourite item in the game. It's probably one of the oldest ones on my account.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, the deep sea fishing platform sort of looks like one of these events should look, with the random events that go on every now and then, the thing in the centre, the focus in the centre
Yeah.
that relies upon cooperation. The fact that there's always something happening at the deep sea fishing platform, it kind of looks a bit like the template event for something that's going on. And if you could take this and replicate what the deep sea fishing platform is, it's probably why I enjoy it and sort of AFK there. If
Well,
you
that'll
could
be
take
the socialness then they've tried to add into it. the deep sea fishing hub, I'm assuming. They've went, what's a social event? The beach. Let's try incorporate that into this deep sea fishing hub.
Maybe they
So
use
they-
that as a template for the new event, or for the spring fair event even.
Well, I hope so.
We hope so.
Because if they're capable of taking what is good from the beach and applying it to deep sea fishing, then there's lessons been learned.
You can only really hope, can't you? So
We'll see. Maybe Monday or the following Monday.
Yeah, I really do hope it's the quest that comes out next, which is our next subject. If nobody else has anything about the spring fair,
no.
no. Okay, so does anybody know the requirements for the quest that's coming out?
Yes. 81 construction, 82 fire making, 83 agility, 85 thieving, and they're suggesting 110 combat, as well as completing Gertrude's Cat, a Clockwork Syringe quests.
What he said. What he said.
So it's kind of like a quest that's high up there, especially with the requirements. It's not going to be. It doesn't seem like it's going to be an easy quest.
No, but I don't think any of the Pirate series have been
No.
necessarily easy quests.
They've always had little puzzle elements in them which have been quite testy. I remember those zombots from a Clockwork Syringe.
Oh no.
Oh.
Clockwork Syringe was just difficult in general.
Although
Yep.
we all hope that, is it Baron von Krappen?
Captain Crap.
Yeah.
We all hope he comes back.
Do you?
I think
I
everyone.
really didn't like that portion of the quest. Not the bit, the puzzle. It was funny material, but the puzzle was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Rogue the Debbie Downer.
I know, man.
I
Hating
liked
on
some
our
of the stuff, but the
on our
puzzle
Baron
wasn't.
von Pooper.
Like the cross-dressing zombie. It's hilarious.
So I haven't done the quest. I've only just completed Cabin Fever, so I've only just got to mostly harmless. Would you guys prefer, like, how would you, if there is a puzzle, would you prefer it to be more difficult than, like, Elemental Workshop kind of thing? Or
Oh
Temple
no,
of the...
please no.
Oh yes, give us more Elemental Workshop
No.
puzzles. They are the
Elemental
best
Workshop
quest series. Come
five.
on, more Elemental Workshop type puzzles, please.
Oh no, they give me like proper like
PTSD.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh, and if there's going to be a boss
more.
battle, make it a battle. Don't make it a Children of Mar type situation where people do a puzzle to fight the boss and it becomes so difficult they have to install an easy mode, which is basically just the mode everyone else has to do.
Yeah.
I'm
Quests
sure it'll
to be
be
a little
something.
bit challenging.
Definitely. I like not being able to complete it straight away. I don't mean like
Not nomad
You know.
difficulty.
well no, you mean Nomad pre-OEC.
Pre-always, yeah.
Nomad was easy. What do you mean?
I'm sure we'll fight the barrel chest again. I wonder if we'll go like back into a player-owned house and get it demolished, as we did with the previous quest.
Tin Deathbeard might make an appearance.
All we know so far is that Mostly Harmless is going to be under attack from Rabid Jack and his pirate zombies, and there's going to be a lot of awful puns.
Yep.
Not when you got the
expect
Raventhorn
anything
title.
Yeah, I mean, from those horror lore books, I would be expecting something quite dark from the end of it, but I know Mudraven has said this has got nothing to do with Zautak, and I'm hoping he's lying. I hope it's got a lot to do with Zautak, but I'm looking forward to it, and maybe not gonna hype too much, just purely because I don't know too much about it, and I don't want to get myself risen too much just to fall.
So would you say, upon release, are you going to do the quest immediately, or wait for other people to do it first and then try it yourself?
I need my Master Quest kit back. I'll be doing it immediately.
Have you
What
got all
about-
the law books now?
Yes.
Alright.
What about everybody else? Are you going to be doing it on release, or waiting
Yeah.
until you know it's like...
I think I'll do it on release as well, to be honest with you. It's been the first time that an actual decent quest line's been brought back out in a while. And it's not just a silly, like, throwaway quest, so
Other
I'm
than the
quite...
Vampire line, which was quite a recent one, but I loved.
But yeah, it'll be nice to do something a little bit more. Although it'll be jokey, I do hope it's still like a good story and a good
And not drop a
good
pillar
ending to
on
it.
Rabid Jack,
Yeah.
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 Hey, old Rabbit Jack. Sorry, I couldn't help
So
myself.
has everybody got the requirements for the quest, apart from myself?
Yes.
I'm maxed.
Yes.
Quest requirements, you silly.
Yes.
You might not have done Gertrude's cat.
Wait, we need Gertrude's cat?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So we are going to need a cat at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
why else would they ask
So
for
I
that?
better get
Oh
my
no.
lazy Hellcat out. How do you get the lazy Hellcat to not be lazy anymore with the removed
You
can't.
pits?
Cannot.
Can't.
Oh.
Okay.
You fucked it, mate.
Like I've got an overgrown cat, so I hope it can catch some mice.
Nieces.
Is there any speculation as to what the rewards are going to be?
Yeah.
I don't think they've said anything, have they?
I know that Mod Raven was asking on the forums, but I can't remember like any of the actual rewards. I'm sure a lot of people were saying a lot of crazy, you should really give us this high level stuff, but like I think one of the ones was an upgraded version of the barrel chest anchor, which could work.
Yeah, that could work.
I mean,
That
if
would
there
be
was
fun.
good rewards, I mean, I was more invested in sort of the larger outline in the vampire, so I rushed to do them. But if there were good rewards, I think I'd
Do you know what?
be
I would
sooner
like-
to do this.
Something like the tutorial island type after quest rewards, things that you can go back to
Almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
Almost like a
monthly. Yeah.
monthly, yeah, so that you are going back to Mosley Harmless for some reason. You know, that's the type of rewards that I kind of like.
Which will give them maybe foreground to update the
Yeah.
graphics of Muslim Hamas.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is just a little off topic, but it's still on the quest. But was it the Pirate series that required the diving apparatus?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yes.
So it
Because
might
of
be
the,
worthwhile
dungeon.
getting that.
You can store it in your house, so you may have already done that.
Probably not. I'm not that intelligent.
If not, then go get some fish bills. The only other real thing coming out this month, and it might
Is
come out
Guth-
with the spring fair, is the Guffixian butterflies.
Yeah. That's something I'd like to touch on as well. So, these have been coming out for quite a few years now. It's the same time. It's around the same time every year, isn't it? For 2 weeks,
Yeah, I believe so.
and it's always giving you XP and your lower skills.
And it's
How
always
do you-
making Iron Men cry for
Yeah.
mistakes.
I mean, depending on what your level is, it could be a good amount of free XP a day. I mean, I don't know what the limit is to catch. Is it 20?
I think it's
Normally
20.
is about
yeah.
that, yeah.
You always just go to the desert, bandit lodestone, and they're just all scattered there at reset.
Everywhere.
So, do you guys like make effort every day to catch your 20, or do you just let it happen throughout the day and hope you do it by reset?
Make an attempt to go get them, because otherwise I forget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. I'll log on. First thing I do is go to somewhere that a lot of them spawn and run around for a little bit.
I don't think they spawn in Prith, and I think if
No.
you mainly stay in Prith, then you really do forget if you're not out in the mainland.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine that'd be quite difficult because you get scenic butterflies flying around in Prith,
Yeah.
don't you? They're just part of the scenery. So I imagine trying to wear Guthixian butterflies on the top of that would be a pain in the ass.
Are the Guffix butterflies out now because it's like the anniversary of, well, the
It's
Guffix
the-
spread?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you don't know already, stop listening now. But it's the anima, like grieving for the loss of Guffix afterwards. So we'll also get like the trees crying as well, and the butterflies just spawn up and just make the whole place look nicer.
Could they
Press F
They
to
do
pay
more.
respects.
could they do more to perhaps pay tribute to Guthix? Is there more that they could?
Oh, always give us more Guffix. content. Always give us more graphics. We do have a
Give
tribute
us
to
more
graphics,
Brassica.
but
Graphics is a dead loser.
we could just have like a Slisky punch them up. Just like have Slisky appear and just
No.
like we get massive amount of XP for just punching Slisky.
No.
That would be good.
No.
No.
A Sasuke punching booth.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I'll just be sitting there saying, it's okay, you're such a good man.
Hey, I would pay rune coins to do that.
I'd pay rune coins just had, you know the punch things that you get at fairs? So Sasuke's face painted on that. Just to hit it.
You
get
guys
straight
just
XP
don't
for
know a
that.
good character when it hits you in the face, man. This is like the best character in this game.
Muscular Draken, that's a good character. She's sly, shady, all the things you need from a character. Sasuke's just annoying.
No, he's not. He's funny, and he's also all of the things you said.
Has anybody else got anything to add about anything we've talked about today? No?
No,
No,
I think it
thank
just
you.
looks like
Great.
a good month.
So, thank you very much for listening to WolfCape's second podcast. Remember to drop us a like on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter. You'll find all the information for our social media on the screen. And we'll also put a link for the behind the scenes video in the description below. Bye!
Bye.
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 Right.
Ramen, ramen, ramen. He loves his ramen, ramen, ramen.